Budget proposal for the remainder of 2019 was presented to Parliament by Minister of Finance Mangala Samaravira on the 5th of March. Its second reading passed in Parliament with a 43-vote majority on the 12th of last month. Afterwards, the committee stage debate for the budget took place for 19 days, where the expenditure heads for all the ministries were taken up. What is significant, however, is that the expenditure heads for the Ministries of Internal, Home Affairs, Provincial Councils and Local Government, as well as Megapolis and Western Development, were defeated by the opposition on the 28th of last month. Following the defeat, the opposition expressed confidence in defeating the Budget Proposal 2019 following its third reading in Parliament. With the third reading set for today, a number of parliamentarians were on the fence and discussions continued in the opposition, involving all the factions within the UPFA to determine a course of action. A discussion was held between the President and the opposition leader last evening and it ended without a final decision. During the final meeting between the Sri Lanka Freedom Party and the United People's Freedom Alliance this morning, the SLFP decided to refrain from voting, whereas the rest of the UPFA constituting the joint opposition decided to vote against. Meanwhile, a supplementary estimate of 287 billion rupees for the two defeated expenditure heads was passed in Parliament today. Making the final remarks following the committee stage debate over the expenditure head of Ministry of Finance, the subject minister revealed measures taken by the government to resolve the issues of ETI depositors.
The rupee has now appreciated by 4.5 since January of this year, and it is now amongst the top 3 best performing currencies in the world. The ETI depositors will be paid their third tranche of their capital before the Sinhala Tamil New Year. In fact, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka has just announced that Blue Summit Capital of Singapore, Ben Holdings Limited of Sri Lanka have just completed remitting the final tranche of US $16 million to ETF, bringing their total investment for selected assets of ETI to US $70 million. These funds will now be used by ETIF, which is under central bank management, to pay a further 10% of capital outstanding to all depositors before the Sinhala Tamil New Year holidays. This brings the total capital repaid to all depositors to 30% of their deposit value. In addition, ETI continues to pay interest payments at the CBSL directed rate to all depositors. The CBSL has also provisionally approved a recovery business plan for ETI and Swarnavahal Financial Services Limited from Isuna Investments and Informatics, and it is now awaiting implementation. The fact that a major player in the international mobile industry, Leica Mobile of the UK, owned by a Sri Lankan Tamil businessman who is possibly the major shareholder of these investing companies, should not be a reason to character assassinate him or his company. We should be proud that the Tamil diaspora is now feeling comfortable enough to make such large investments in Sri Lanka. All required precautions and clearances have been duly obtained by CBSL before such approval. In addition, Central Bank, following due process, have also filed action against the directors of ETI and SFS. In addition, the ETI and SFS issues first emerged as far back as 2011. Please listen to this. The then government failed to find any solution at that time or after that.
In the vote which followed, 119 parliamentarians voted in favour of the Budget Proposal 2019, while only 74 parliamentarians voted against it. Accordingly, the third reading of the budget passed with a majority of 45 votes. United National Party, Tamil National Alliance and Sri Lanka Muslim Congress voted in favour of the budget, along with UPFA's Muthu Sivalingam and Vijit Vijayamuni Soiza. UNP's Venerable Athuraliye Ratanathera, Ashoka Priyantha, Dunesh Gankanda and Minister Dr. Vijayadasa Rajapaksa and TNA's Sivasakti Anandan, however, were not seen in the House of Parliament. The rest of the UPFA, making up the joint opposition and the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, voted against the budget, while MPs of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party refrained from voting. That said, parliamentarians S.B. Disanayaka, Dilan Pereira, Susil Premajayantha, Chandima Veerakkodi, Lakshman Yapa Abewardana, Lakshman Vasantha Pereira, Anuradha Jayaratna, Sudarshini Fernando Pillai, Anura Priyadarshana Yapa and T.B. Ekanayaka cast their vote against the budget. However, SLF peers Dayasiri Jayasekara, Mahinda Amaraveera, Duminda Disanayaka, Nimal Siripala De Silva, Ranjit Siambalapitiya, Dushmanta Mitrapala, Shriyani Vijayvikrama, Nishanta Muthu Hettigama, Veerakumara Disanayaka, Mahinda Samarasinghe, Dr. Sarath Amunugama, Tilanga Sumatipala and Kadir Massan were absent. Arumugam Thondaman meanwhile was also absent from the House.